So today I want to talk about the power of habits and also how you can get out of a rut and start living the life that you've always wanted to live. Now, what is a habit? So a habit is something that you've done for so long that your body actually knows it more than your mind does. And you can have good habits, habits that make you come alive. You can also have habits that make you feel like you're suffering. Now, your brain doesn't know the difference between the physical and the metaphysical world. Now, the physical world is what we're experiencing right now, like these flowers and me when you're watching me. Now, the metaphysical world is your internal world. The metaphysical world is the world that poisons us. And in the metaphysical world, we are waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting for things to change in order for us to feel good. But if you really want to change the way that you feel, you got to understand this. Your body doesn't know the difference, right? And so what it does is it becomes comfortable with whatever information you give it. So if you keep telling yourself on a consistent basis that, I'm not happy, I feel miserable, I'm not good enough, that becomes your comfortable comfort zone or your blueprint. That becomes something that you start to believe, right? Because you tell yourself long enough and it becomes a habit. Then it becomes your identity. Here's the problem though. If you have habits of telling yourself things that actually doesn't make you vibrate very high, makes you feel really heavy and negative, those thoughts are holding you back. But at the same time, they make you feel comfortable because they're predictable. So if you try and change your thought, for example, I'm going to start training tomorrow and you start inspiring yourself, your brain's going to want to jump in and go, nah, not tomorrow. Let's do it another day. That's because you would rather be suffering than be happy, because suffering has become your comfortable place. It's where you feel good about yourself, even though you feel bad. It's very bizarre, but this is how our brain works. So for example, when you say, I don't know what my future looks like, it's because you have a habit of telling your brain that you have no idea what you want or what your future looks like. So that makes you feel stuck. And then stuck is kind of very uncomfortable in the beginning, and then it becomes comfortable, it becomes your blueprint, and you become a victim. But the best way to know what your future looks like is not to ask yourself, because if you ask yourself, all of those gremlins in your head are going to come in and tell you that you don't know. The best way to predict your future is to design it. Because if you think about what you want, you are actually living in your past, because your brain is actually stuck in a memory from your past. So you'll get more of the memories of your past, but what you want to do is actually create a map for the future and then start to focus on the map from the future, the map that hasn't happened yet. Because if you're only focusing on what you already know, you'll keep getting more of your past. Then you think, but Anna, how do I create a map of the future when I don't know what the future looks like? Right, exactly. Well, here's the thing. You're stuck right now because you've been doing something wrong, right? You've not been doing something right, because if you were doing something right, you'd be flourishing right now. You'd have the most amazing romantic relationship and you'd be making lots of money. Obviously, something that you're doing isn't working for you. So if you feel uncomfortable about what I'm saying right now, doing the map of the future that hasn't happened yet, maybe you want to give it a try, because it's the opposite of what you're doing right now, which means maybe it works. To create a compelling future, you sit down and then you go, all of the crap in my head, put it aside. Let's dream massive. Let's make it huge. What would I do if I had everything that I wanted? I had the resources, the financial resources. I had nothing holding me back. What would I do? Map out the whole thing of what you would do and make it detailed. The more detailed it is, the more your brain has something to focus on. And remember, your brain doesn't know, has this happened or has it not happened? Which means if it thinks it has happened, it will start to focus on it, and that will become your life. Just like the life you have right now is your life because you focused on that life. Then what you need to do is you need to design, okay, that's the life I want. Who do I have to become right now in this moment in order for me to move towards that life? If I want to have lots of money in the future, say 1 year down the line, I have to stop talking to myself in a very poverty mindset and start saying, I can't afford this, I'll never make the money. I've got to look into what's going to, do an inventory of what's going on the inside. Same thing, you want a romantic relationship. You can't be focusing right now on the absence of good people out there and you're thinking all the good ones are taken. So you got to change the way that you show up. Now, when you change the way that you show up, you become different. You do. If you say, this is the person I need to be in order to have that life, I'm going to be that person right now. Then you ask yourself, how does that person wake up in the morning? What kind of morning rituals do they have? What do they tell themselves? And you don't just do it 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the day, and 5 minutes in the evening. No, you inhale this person and live this person 24 hours a day. And for this, you need to stand guard of your mind. I'm telling you, if you do this 6 to 8 weeks, your life will change. And I'm not just saying this because I've read it in a book. I've done it, my clients are doing it, and the transformation is massive. Absolutely massive. So you'll start to notice that you are now treating people different. You're interacting different. People go, what's happened to you? I don't know what's happened to you, but whatever you've done, I feel great when I'm around you these days. So I don't know, I'm inspired by you. That's when you are starting to change the way that you show up. So that means you don't have to wait for your body to heal to feel whole. You don't have to wait for the right relationship to show up to feel loved. You don't have to become rich to feel wealthy, and you don't have to have confidence to have personal power. You can choose to have all of that right now in this moment. So the old model of your life, you're waiting for everything to happen before you feel something, right? And the new model of your life is you expect that everything is going to go your way, and you already feel like you have everything right now, and that will change the way that you think. So what's the old model for you and what's the new model? Write them both down and make a commitment today. Enough of playing small. Enough of blaming the world around me. It's time for you to thrive.